The Republican Party. Before I even start reading this, I just want you to know that this Republican Party of Thomas Jefferson is not the same as the Republican Party that we have today. So just to make that clear, very different. Now, there's some similarities, but very different issues that they were fighting for back in the 1790s versus today. The Republican Party, also called the Jeffersonian-Republicans or the Democratic Republicans, the Republican Party was one of the first two political parties in the United States. The Republicans believed that the national government belonged to all the people, rich and poor. In 1793, James Madison, a longtime friend of Alexander Hamilton, thought that Hamilton's financial plan gave too much power to the national government. Madison chose to side with Jefferson. Both Madison and Jefferson are given credit for having started the Republican Party. The Republican Party of Jefferson is not connected to the Republican Party of today. In fact, many historians believe that if Jefferson were around today, he would most likely belong to the Democratic Party, although some historians would argue with that as well. But we can get into that discussion later. In general, Jefferson's Republican Party held the following beliefs. The national government should be small and limited. That's actually kind of like the modern Republicans today. States' rights should be defended. That's also kind of like the modern Republicans. Agriculture is the backbone of the American economy and American culture. And I don't know if either party would agree with that today. I'm not sure. The Bill of Rights is necessary for protecting the natural rights of the people against the possible abuses of the national government. I definitely think that today's Republican Party is certainly in support of the Second Amendment in the Bill of Rights. I would say probably all the other amendments definitely fought, I think, a little bit more for by the Democratic Party today. The Constitution should be interpreted strictly to give the national government only the powers specifically stated. We talked about this with your parents, the relationship between teenagers and parents. The Republican Party, Jefferson's party in this case, is kind of like the kid, kind of like the teenager, in that they want the authorities' rules to be interpreted as strictly and narrowly as possible. Hamilton and his Federalist Party would be more like the parents, where they would want the rules to be stretched and interpreted as loosely as possible. Finally, the United States government should belong to all citizens regardless of where they live or their economic status. And I would argue that this is probably a position that's taken more by the modern Democratic Party today. I think that the Democrats in general today probably fight more for voter access and making it easier for the common person to participate in government. So anyway, that's the Republican Party or Jefferson's Republican Party.